Hello to you, wherever you may be in the world, and thanks for connecting. We are on day 10 of the Mindset 21 Day Mindset Challenge. Can you believe it? How time flies by when you're having so much fun. So, today the question is on when are you planning to achieve your goals, or when will you achieve your goals? My motto is if it's not written down and it's not measured, it does not exist. Okay. So, what is useful to have around before I hop on into talking in detail about this topic is what's handy. Hello, for anybody who's joining on Instagram and on YouTube. What's handy is to have things like this around. Okay. I have all these task sheets around, stuff to do, notes, things to do. I don't know if it's visible that you can see it. Books like this. And then another big one. Just to give you examples, that the first thing that I mentioned is if it's not written down, if it's not measured, it doesn't exist when it comes to your goals. So you want to be very specific about when you're going to achieve your goals, including implementing what we've talked about from the beginning. So what we've talked about from the beginning is about affirming your beliefs, believing that you can achieve your goals, because without self belief, then how will you overcome those self limiting beliefs as well as be able to achieve and believe in what you've got, that you've got what it takes to achieve your goals? Okay, so just in terms of things that I've talked about, if you haven't been able to hop on onto the 21 Day Mindset Challenge, you can always go back to my YouTube channel where you find from step 1 to where we are today. We are on step 10. I had to think about that. We are on step 10, and we've talked about affirmations, overcoming self-limiting beliefs, just some of the examples, and who to also surround yourself in terms of your network and your circle. They're the ones who make or break your dreams as well. Okay, so the things that may prevent you from actualizing your greatest potential could be self-limiting beliefs. Okay, I can give you an example. Like when I used to dream about starting my own business, I used to hold myself back. I was in my 9 to 5. And the things that would hold me back, first of all, were the actual business plan. And this was a traditional model that I was focusing on. I wanted to develop a brick and mortar business. And I used to feel overwhelmed by the thought of planning the business plan itself. It was 20 pages. I would print it out, look at it, dust would collect, and then I'd think, oh my goodness, every time I went step by step, I'd think there's so much to do, to put together. Then other things that would also make me feel comfortable when I was working full time was the comfort of getting a monthly salary. I didn't know what I was going to do without it, and the fear of overwhelm, of not being able to pay my bills, would also prevent me from doing certain things. Okay, so I'm just giving you examples. So the other things that will probably prevent you from the when is, let's say, for instance, you're dreaming of getting or buying or acquiring, whatever word you may use, as a mansion, or you're thinking about buying the next level, let's say iPhone 12, your top notch car. I'm not great at cars. So you're thinking about the end product, okay, before you've even thought about the first step. And you've already got there, you're thinking of urgency, you're thinking of, I need to get it now. And if it doesn't happen now, then I'm failing. Or it's just that concept of me being able to afford a mansion, of being able to afford something that is luxurious, if that's something you want, may also overwhelm you to the point that you feel like you're not entitled to it. You don't believe that it's something that's intended for you or that you will make it. Okay. So it's about being compassionate with yourself, being empathetic, and also understanding that when it comes to starting anything, it is about having that patience and developing this method where you develop the mechanism to believe that you have got what it takes, but it needs planning. It needs planning from day one, because when you're thinking about it and not doing anything about it, the days accumulate. They accumulate into years, months, years, and so forth. And then you find that you haven't achieved anything because other things, you've held yourself back due to self-limiting beliefs and due to self-sabotage or any other feelings that you may have around those specific goals. What you want to do is have something like this, have this behind you, something that is visual so that you have a planner. Okay, how long it takes, it can be 5 years, it can be 6 months. So when I talked about being empathetic with yourself, it's about still challenging yourself, but at the same time, breaking down your goals from that mansion. When would it take? How long does it take to achieve that goal? How much does it cost? Where's the area? And what do you need in order to get you to that, from point A to point Z or Z into British or American? How long will it take you to get there? And then mapping it out and using the resources that you have, starting from a place of abundance. When you come from a place of lack of, I don't have, I need now, it's an urgent thing. If I don't get it now, then that means that I'm failing. Or if I miss it in days, then that means that it will never become a reality. All those things are self-limiting beliefs that are perpetuating in your mind over and over. And in most cases, they're not a reality. What is a reality is something that is more tangible and something that you can plan for in the future. Okay, so an example would be where I am at the moment. It's something that I spoke into existence. I wanted to live by the seaside, countryside. I wanted to live my city life. And I spoke about it, but I just didn't speak about it or dream about it. I wrote it in a book. I forgot certain goals that I had written, but what counts the most is that even though you forget about certain things, once it's translated onto paper and you have something to measure against, there will be steps going forward that will enable you to gravitate towards your goal. Because once you awaken to something, including your self-belief, your intuition, the likelihood is that you're going to attract like for like. Okay, so if your energy, not if, when your energy is positive, the likelihood is that when I start to say, for example, I want to own that mansion, rather than I'm not going to own it, I'm not going to own it closes my opportunity. I am going to own it opens my opportunity to create something that is going to be more meaningful. It creates an opportunity for me to be open to the potential, the possibility that I have the self-belief to be able to attain something, and it will take time, and that is okay. So what do I need to do from day one? And day one also needs to include looking at self-limiting beliefs and overcoming the things that will challenge you. So it's also about developing consistent methods every day. Okay, so if you can't go to the mansion, is there something you can do before you get to the mansion? Could you go online, for instance, and start to look at the places that you want to live in? Okay, so it could be an exaggeration, Bahamas. Okay, you're dreaming about going to the Bahamas. You want this mansion. How much do the tickets cost? Where is the mansion located? What does it look like? Okay, so that you can start to feel the actual dream. You can start to see it beyond the feeling, and it becomes tangible. And if you're in an area where you can access, well, now we're limited because of the pandemic. We won't talk about that. But something that I used to do, like with my mom, or we used to do when we were younger, we used to go and visit homes that were on sale. We didn't have the money. And what I took from that was that it was the seeing, it was the being in the environment and feeling it. Okay, so I've always implemented that as I grew older, but I didn't connect that to like my childhood. So if I dreamt about, let's say, going to some luxurious place, not that it matters for me. I've been to a lot of places. You walk into, let's say, a 5-star hotel. It's that feeling when you walk into it. It can be anywhere, 5-star or not. the feeling of being somewhere where you want to attract something that is going to take you further. So the feeling could be going into an environment, or going into an environment where there are people who think like you, and they've already obtained the things that you want to be able to like acquire. Okay, that also helps, because then you're looking at, it's almost a reflection, a mirror of somebody else who's already achieved the goals that you're looking to achieve. And then people who will also challenge you to to know what is possible, to see and believe in what's possible, and to also enable you to be challenged into overcoming those self-limiting beliefs that I can't do something because of my circumstance, because my circumstance prevents me from achieving such and such, or it's because I don't have money. Is one of the biggest things that a lot of people will say. And remember what I talked about before. I talked about coming from a place of abundance, working from what you already have, that is already meaningful. And then anything else on top is an extra bonus. So that when you do acquire what you want, the wealth, to me, it's nothing. Money comes and goes. When you acquire whatever it is, you will still feel fulfilled internally. Okay, you still feel happy, because what you've worked on from the beginning, you've worked on affirming who you are, your self-belief. You've also worked on fulfilling your internal needs in terms of happiness, so that the more you get it, even though it's giving you something, like let's say money, you get the money that you want, you're still fulfilled inside. It becomes meaningless because you've got other things that are more powerful. The power is in your happiness, it's in your confidence, it's living through your life vision, your purpose, and your why. And by doing that, you fulfill much more in life. You get a lot more, 10 times more, when you're doing something that is in line with what you're truly passionate about. And it can be in any given environment. Okay, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, it's about finding that balance, so that the more abundance you receive, the more you give back. So I hope what I've shared today has resonated with you. And everything that I share is going to be on my YouTube channel, and then on my timeline on Instagram. I'm recording simultaneously. So, Instagram, thanks for bearing with me, because sometimes I don't look right into the camera. So, I'd like to thank Shelby, Rain, Yaso, and Let Us Make Babe, I think it is. Hello, and thanks for connecting today. I'll just recap what I've talked about briefly before I go. We are on day 10 of the Mindset Challenge, and I was talking about when, and the tools that are useful to have are things like this, so that it's written and measured and more realistic for you to actualize your greatest potential. To also keep in mind things about like affirmations, gratitude, coming from a place of abundance, so that you're working in to overcome your self-limiting beliefs, and so that you can also build this wealth in terms of feeling happier in life. No matter how much you acquire, the more you acquire, the more you're able to give out within yourself in abundance, in terms of like connecting with other people, giving your wealth that you acquire back to other people who need it most. um, then coming from a place of I feel fulfilled, anything I get on top is an extra bonus. Goals are more achievable when they are measured, when they're written down, and it helps you so much more to actualize your greatest potential when you have empathy, self-care for yourself, by making the goals. I was gonna be like making the doors by making the goals smaller, so that you create routines. Okay, smaller. I'm going to get to that mansion in the Bahamas, but before I get to the Bahamas, this is what I need to do. Day one, I need to buy a notebook. I need to write down my goals, how much it's going to cost me to get to the Bahamas, the house, what it looks like, what it feels like, what are the realistic goals that I need to start doing from today. to get me to year 5 as an example. It is better to do something than nothing at all. So I'm going to leave it here for today. And thanks again for joining me. And if you're joining me on a Friday, have a fantastic weekend. Bye for me for now. So on YouTube, for those who are joining me, remember to hit the subscribe button below to be kept up to date with my latest live sessions and any videos that I upload on here. And in my comment section, you will also see links where I provide useful resources, educational information on entrepreneurship, as well as lifestyle, digital nomad matters as well. Ciao, until next week, where we'll be hopping onto day 11 of the Mindset Challenge. Remember, if you're watching for the first time, you can go back to day 1 and start from step 1 until you get to the step where you need to be. It's about working independently in a group where you're able to start from step 1, because if you jump onto step 10, it might not make sense to you. Okay, bye for me for now.